overworking, man, but we ain't gonna let him beat us, man. There's more than one way to skin a cat. So here we are again. We're not back on yet, so okay, now we're back on. As I was saying, there's more than one way to skin a cat. We don't, we're not to be beaten. We're not to be defeated. And this again is what I'm talking about this morning. So, as I said, almost everything that's being done upon us, it either affect us directly or indirectly. And first off, Roe versus Wade, right? Second off, what we got here? Brother Pete, thank you for coming on this morning. It started off with Roe versus Wade. It started off with the Harvard situation, with the racism concerning the scholarships and what have you. Uh, the banning of books. Okay, cutting out the libraries in schools. Going to take away the budget from the education from the Department of Education. Can I go on? So now, what I'm saying is, and then we come to the DEI situation, and this is what's about us right now. But see, we're not just gonna pick any one of those things. See, because when you got your shit in order, when you got your house in order, if there's no holes in your roof, man, you're not worried about the rain. It's raining no less, and it's raining on everybody else's house just as much as it's raining on yours. But you're secure. So you don't have to go out and do a bunch of stuff where you need to be protected the whole nab. So now, this is what I'm coming to. I look at so many of us, and we complain. And we'll complain about our situation, but then we'll brag on someone else that may be prospering or doing well the whole bit. But we don't have any clue, any idea that we can do it too. Right? And oftentimes we don't know how to do it. You see? See, all of those leaders that I named, the activists, the ministers, the teachers, the community leaders, all of these people who have what we call brilliant minds, they don't know that our survival is not complicated. It's very simplistic. It's very, very simplistic, and I tell you why. Because first, let me say this: each and every one of them says the same thing. They know what must be done, but they don't know how. And I don't care whomever it is that's on here. Every now and then, man, quite a few of us get it right, and I hear them say what needs to be done, and they will say it by the numbers. They will say it by the numbers, but they won't actually try to do it or illustrate it. They will give you this entire presentation telling you what it is that we need to do and how we need to do it. And then they'll back out, and then they'll do a mea culpa. They'll back out and they'll say, well, we're not going to do it anyway, man. We could never get all the people to do this or do that. You don't know. You don't know. COVID had a lot of us. There were some that was breaking the ranks on whether they were getting shots or whether they weren't. But for the most part, man, more people survived than perished. You see, those are the situations that I'm talking about when it puts you in a tight space, right? See, when your fingers are apart and it's like this, it's just a hand. But when you close it and it does this, it's a fist. And this is more mightier than this, right? So now we are put in a position of this right now. So now we need to do some punching, but we need to know what to punch at and when to punch, right? Again, I say, we're under siege. That's the first sign. that gets you up and aware. It makes you get ready. Now let me share something with you. On social media, I see many of us, man, having 4,000 followers that tunes in every day. I see a little young kid got 392 million followers. The young African kid, I can't think of his name. Excuse me, 392 million. That's right at or above the population of the United States, right? You have other younger people that are black, people of color, have hundreds of thousands, 200,000, 3 million, 2 million, right? You see, first and foremost, that's where our survival starts. Not just see, but right now, let me show you. These people have their platform built on just bringing in those type of followers that follows them, and whatever it is that they may be pushing or selling, you see, then they're going to make a shitload of money. And when you see it that way, they look at it as though I'm a success, right? But yet those 392 million people that are following you, almost 99.9% of them are living in poverty, are barely making it. So that's not what I'm suggesting that all of us should do. Go out and try to garner 392 million people. No, sir. But when it comes to our survival, first of all, that's where it starts, right? And let me show you what winning for a people looks like. You fill this auditorium. That's what I call it. It's a social media auditorium. You fill this audience with all of your followers, right? And of course, these people, see, there's a price or there's a cost to knowledge. There's a cost to knowledge. But see, understanding is free. But there's a cost to knowledge. So now, you come into this gathering. And now this person that has brought you together, that's only one step of the success. That's only one step of survival of our people flourishing. The fact that this person has gotten you all under one roof or in front of one camera, right? So now that he's brought everyone together and he has their ear, right? The next thing that you want to do, you want to point out what our I don't want to say enemy, but what's happening with us to oppress us and hold us back and make us slack and lag, and we're at the end of the line when it comes to a people, right? Forget about you bragging about, man, we were once kings, we are royalty, we come from our ancestors. That shit is gone. Our ancestors are dead and gone. And you know, and their story lives in infinity, in infinity. All right, throughout history. But that's not doing much for us right now if we're not following a lot of the things that they laid out for us. So now step number one, all these people have been brought together. So now that all these people have been brought together, now you want to tell these people something or give these people something that's going to make each and every one of those 392 million prosper. Now, you don't want to send 392 million people off into the world and each one of them are doing something different. Right? So what we want to talk about We want to talk about leveraging. We want to talk about monetizing. We are the value. People always like ask themselves about when you're selling something, they ask themselves, well, what's the product? Right? Sometimes the product don't even fucking matter. You are the product. You are the product because you are willing to lift them as they lift you. And everybody is lifting one another. And if everybody followed the dictates or the tenets of this universal principle, all 392 million people will prosper. Everybody will prosper. And that's how you do it. So now that's step number 2, and that's the ultimate step, because now, see, when you've helped every man and woman and child achieve what you wanted for yourself, you've done your part. Now, if they go off and they blow those, or they don't give back to it, don't worry about it, because what you would have created is a gift that keeps on giving. And a person could spend all of their monies today, and when they have 392 million other people constantly moving perpetually, they're going to be back in the saddle again today. They could have lost everything yesterday. They're going to be back in the game today. See, I was reading yesterday, and I saw this, and this came from a certified account, a presentation on someone's finances. And when I read this, we're getting ready to get some noise, ladies and gentlemen. Here comes the garbage people. But when I read this, I'll share this with you as soon as the noise dissipates. All right? Gives me a chance to enjoy smoke for a second here. Bear with us. What I'm telling you next is very important. So, what happens is, Kanye West, about a year ago, Kanye said that he was worth about $6 billion. Kanye started losing deals with Balenciaga, lost deals with Adidas and what have you, and they try to destroy this brother. And we know when we say, man, Kanye's crazy, Kanye's an idiot, Kanye is a whole lot of things, but one thing Kanye is not, and that's a fool. Kanye said some foolish things, and he saw the error of his ways. And after that, Kanye ducked his head down, got with his wife. They wore those ugly ass costumes, because that's what they were. And they went about their lives. He put his nose to the grindstone. And as of yesterday, Kanye is worth $2.7 billion. I didn't look up to see what Jay-Z is worth a whole bit. I don't get caught up in a whole lot of that bullshit. But I do know this, though. If it comes across my timeline and my eyes view it, I lock it in. So Jay-Z is somewhere around that amount. Okay? Kanye has started below him, passed him, lost it, and now he's back up even or above him again. When you get down and you focus and you don't get caught up in the bullshit, all of your good blessings and your good graces and rewards are going to come to you. But see, a lot of us don't know how to do it individually. So that's why sometimes we need to do it collectively. And for all of you solo riders who say, I can do it all on my own, I don't give a shit who you are and what it is that you're selling and how rich you've gotten from doing it. You didn't do it by yourself. Thank your customers. Thank your clients. You had people that were servicing your idea or your business that you knew nothing about. Probably some of them that didn't even like you. But they got your merchandise just because everybody else was getting it. Right? That's just how fickle and confused we are. However, be that as it may. But now, the universe has created a system. It has nothing to do with man. There's a road to poverty, and there's also a road to prosperity. And when a lot of these people who understand the concept, they don't tell you the naked truth. See, what it's going to take to save a people, man, is for everybody to link in and lock in and join. Right? And that's where I sound like everybody else, saying that we must come together. That's no lie. We must. But come together doing what? That is to find a product that this country will deem legitimate. Because if you sell a product, and I'm talking network marketing here, but I'm talking life. Let's forget about any of these companies that are network marketing companies. I'm giving you the blueprint, literally, right? So now, when you find a product, it's not looking for something that's simple, small, and tangible. The product is you finding 100 people like you, 1,000 people like you, 3,000 people like you, 392 million people like you, right? And what's going to happen? Each and every one of you are going to do the same thing systematically. And what happens as it trickles down that roster, it's going to regenerate and do it all over again continuously. And you'll never have an impoverished day again in your life. Take businesses, for instance, right? You know why local barbershops and hair salons survive? And for many of you out there that's my age, and even those of you who aren't, when you get my age, you'll realize, because you'll probably be going to the same hairstylist or the same barbershop for over 50 years. Hairstyles have changed. You got guys cutting hair now, man, that's my age, and they're cutting the hair in the style of young kids that's coming in with the sides all cut off and just the little twisties at the top. You had guys inside the prison system that knew how to braid better than women out here, and they weren't gay. It was just a sign of the times, right? So barbershops and hair salons are the greatest example, and neighborhood restaurants, right? And let me tell you why they're the greatest example. Because see, these barbershops, these businesses are in a small locale. They're in a small locale. And if you have a barbershop in Houston, Texas, that's been open for 50 years, he wasn't open because people from Cincinnati was coming to his barbershop. People from Chicago, people from Miami. No. If he had 50 customers, he can rest assured that those 50 customers were going to come again next week and the week after that, so on and so forth, right? So it's continuous. He's last 50 years not by getting 50,000 or 100,000 customers. He had those 50 customers laid out in the right place. Now, if you have a butcher store in the community, everybody buys their meats from this guy, or girl, or lady rather. And these ladies are some of the same customers that goes to that hair salon and that barbershop. Do you see where I'm going with this? And it creates a perpetual circle, right? And when you have everybody doing it, but see, you can't do it with the barbershop, a hair salon, in my presentation that I'm giving you here. See, now you need something so the government won't come in and crash you across the head and say that you committed a crime. Because you have to have some sort of product. And they want to tell you that you can't recruit people. You can't sell the people. Macy's, DirecTV, people dealing with Medicare, the whole bit, they do it every day. Because when you give a salesperson, you want to give them incentive. And you want to tell them if they reach a certain quota, they're going to get a benefit. They're going to get a reward for it. So it would be foolish, asinine, and it would be a lie to say that you can't be rewarded and sell the people. Because the more people that you bring on, the more rewards that you get. And if everyone is doing that, then this is a gift that keeps on giving and it reciprocates, right? So now, you have a product that you can sell. But it could be one that can benefit you as well. But keep in mind, if we were selling wigs, right? If we were selling wigs, a person with a lot of hair, man, it would be worthless to them. So they're just buying the wigs only so they can continue, right? And they can be relevant within that cycle. But the product doesn't serve them as well at all. But now they can give those wigs or donate those wigs to a cancer outreach program. Do you understand what I'm getting at? Right? So in my business, it's a book. You could like the book, you could not like the book. When you say and then people would ask me, well, what is the product? The product is you. The product is your desire to be prosperous. The product is the fact that we're being oppressed as a people. We're being squeezed. Like we used to say when we were kids, we're being squozed. You're being squeezed, right? Into a position and a place of paralysis. Man, don't you know most people I know that's 65 and over, man, was frightened shitless, man, the past couple of days when they thought that Social Security was getting ready to be jacked up and wasn't going to get no checks, wasn't going to get no monies going towards Medicaid and Medicare. You don't want to be this age and have to worry about shit like that. And this is the only monies that you can rely on, right? We're being forced into a position to have to survive, right? See, I'm giving it to you raw. I'm giving it to you uncut. But many of the other ethnicities, they already understand this. They're already doing this. And I know some of you are going to say, Tom, man, you just learned about this, man, and you're telling us this. I didn't just learn about this, guys. See, my father used to tell me about this, man. We're talking about community economics, man, ever since I was a kid. And community means unify. Community means communicate. It means to act as a village. And you don't have to like the person that's involved. You don't have to know them, because if everybody's doing this within the cycle, you're going to prosper. You're going to benefit. And we all need that. Some of us are going to do it to the tune, man, to where we'll have enough just to survive, man, pay all of our bills, pay our mortgages, our rent, have an automobile that we can keep filled with gas, and we can take an occasional vacation. But then there are going to be some, man, that's going to be able to buy a vacation house in another city, state, or country. They're going to have multiple cars. But that's okay, because we all are living beyond the poverty level. Don't wait until that oppression comes knocking on your door. I'm giving you the blueprint. I have a system that's already in place. You would just have to want to be a part of it. And it starts off small and it starts off slow. Let's talk about leverage. You're thinking about a product. You know, you're on social media and you're just talking to the camera the way I'm doing right now, and you have hundreds of thousands of people that's on your site. Oh yeah, I've seen that. You understand? You're already wealthy and just don't know it. So, but you're constantly thinking, man, what can I sell these people? I don't know what to sell. See, you've gathered all these people, and all of them want to listen to what it is that you have to say. Now you have to find a way to monetize and leverage not just those people for your coffers, for your pockets. What is it that you can tell each and every one of those people, right? That's going to help them prosper as well. And I'm not talking about you telling them to go out and get credit, the whole bit. You can rest assured, man, this credit game, with a lot of things that Trump Trump loves credit. He loves credit. And I don't care how rich he may get, because right now he has the richest men in the world. He has the top 5 richest men in the world, drinking his Kool-Aid. So he never has to worry about credit again, like he has to go to these banks and all these bullshit charges that they put on him the whole bit, because Trump is a master of credit. But with these guys, why would he need it? So at some point, with a lot of shit that he's doing, he's not doing anything directly to hurt the credit industry. But when you start doing things that's going to affect the Federal Reserve, that's going to affect the interest rates and what have you, credit is going to change too. Credit is going to change too. I don't care what product you have, and you got 2 people pulling from either side. At some point or another, one side is going to be shorter than the other, because you're not getting more rope. The rope doesn't expand. What makes you get more is by pulling. So what happens is, when he tightens the purse strings, when the Federal Reserve tightens up and interest rates go up, man, credit is going to be a bitch to get. So that's where liquidity is going to have to come in. And see, we don't need, and here's the thing, you don't need any more monies that needs to be printed at this point in order for all of us as a people, 13% in this country, to live a comfortable, profitable life and lifestyle. You don't need any more money. What needs to be done is that magnet needs to be created that will bring that harvest to you, right? And it has to be more than just trying to teach everybody's credit. It has to be more than that, and everybody's paying you. It has to be more than that, ladies and gentlemen. It can't be just that, right? It can't be that you're selling a necktie. I mean, and as I said again, with the system that I'm talking about, it doesn't matter what you sell. It doesn't matter what you sell. It's just everybody else buying into it and buying into it with each other. That's all. And the way my system works, man, all you need to know is 5 people. And 5 people knows 5 people. You can be on a bus, riding a bus, and you can look around that bus. You don't see anybody on that bus that you know. Not one. But if you operate this principle in which I'm speaking of, lo and behold, unbeknownst to you, at least 20 or 30 of those people that may be on that bus may be benefiting from something that you put out there in the universe. And that's what happens with a great idea, because then it's in the ethers. And all a person has to do is just be in the vicinity. It's no different from smoking this cigar. And there are people in here that don't smoke. And they feel threatened by the mere fact that they can get cancer. Not the greatest example, but you get what I'm saying. If you in the proximity, you will be affected. So if you put a wonderful idea, a very prosperous idea, into the ethers, into the atmosphere, into the universe, those that are close around you in close proximity, they will benefit as well. But you see, I'm not a salesman. What's going on, brother? I saw you in there, man. Yeah. I'm not a minister. I'm not an activist. I'm not a politician. What I'm saying is, I have this message, and I know it's a great message because it comes from the Most High. But I don't know how to get this message to the masses. Like I tell you, the young brother that's on social media that has 392 million followers, this is a message that needs to be in the hands of somebody like that. This is a message that needs to be in the hand of you, ladies and gentlemen, that has 300 followers. This is a message that needs to be in the hand of you who has 13,000 followers. And I'm telling you, if you DM me, I will orchestrate it for you, however many people you have following you. And I will show you how to leverage, monetize, and capitalize on your following. And not just you will follow from it, because once I lay it out for you, you will lay it out for those that are following you. And this is where we need to be, because as I can tell you now, we're in a hell of a spot. And this country right now is putting a squeeze on us as a black people. This is how we are right now. Right? At first it was like this. Now we're scared and we're like this. But when they put the crunch on us, this is how we need to be. Right? And see, there's a difference in this and this, even though it's on the same. It's just a hand here. It's a fist here. And when you are forced into a situation, that's when you come out fighting. But when you don't know how to fight and you don't know what you're fighting against, you've already lost the battle and the war. Let's get together, ladies and gentlemen, and let's do what many of our forefathers have, and our activists and our ministers have told us what to do, and that's to unify. But they didn't know how to tell you how to do it and what to do it for and with. It's not just one thing coming together. You've already come together when you got 392 million people on your social media page. You've already done it. You've already come together. So now how are you benefiting One person's benefiting. That person's that's getting all those views. So they didn't tell you how to maximize that and have each and one of those followers to succeed as well. That's what I'm here to tell you. That's what I'm here to share with you. And it's not magic. I'm not brilliant. It's amongst us every day because it's in the ethers, and this is what the universe is telling us that that's what we need to do. You know, I'm going to say this and I'm going to close. See, when I was in prison, when I went to prison by myself. I went to prison by myself, right? And what happens is, see, when you get to prison, you want to stay by yourself, you know. And that happens. But in the example I told you earlier on, right? Prison is a small microcosm of the world, of society. And what happens in prison, everything becomes concentrated. Everything becomes pure. Everything becomes truth. Literally. And I know you say, nah, man, y'all got gay guys in there and all that other shit going on. You know why? Because many of those guys, they're thinking with their lower self. But they're surviving. See, because here's the thing. And I'm going to say it like this, and I'm going to be crass, but I apologize. See, these guys desire pussy. And with their mind, and with their strategy, and with their strength, they willed what they deemed pussy to them in a place where pussy didn't exist. Now tell me that's not power, right? So when I say I didn't do my time by myself, what I meant by that is this. As a black man and you go in prison, and there are many, many other black men, you stand off. You don't want to get too familiar with guys for many, many reasons. But when a war comes about, when it's a race war, or it's a war of demographics, a war of gangs, then everybody unified. People who don't know each other and don't like it. Skinny, you gone? Okay, people that don't like each other comes together. And we defend one another. Now don't get me wrong. In times of peace, everybody goes about and do their own thing. Whatever that may be. Those guys that messing with punks. Right? Those punks that's messing with guys. I don't know how you separate it, but you get my point. Right? But when it's a war, when it's a battle, let me tell you something. If there's a race war going on, and you're a guy that don't mess with punks, right? You're a guy that's not into homosexuality. But if that homosexual is black, and it's a race war, you're going to defend them, and you'll wish that you had somebody defending your back. You don't care what they were, as long as they were black and looked like you, right? We're being forced into that situation right out here, right now. But we don't know how to galvanize and come together. See, in prison, they would send messages, man, throughout the units. They found a way to do the impossible. They found a way to survive inside. And now we outside with all the tools. We have all the tools. We have all the tools available to us. And we don't take advantage of none of them. Well, it's high time that we do. Don't wait until poverty come knocking at your door. Don't wait until you can't get a job anymore because all of these businesses are hiring only whites. Don't wait for that time, ladies and gentlemen. Well, it's just about my time, man. I enjoyed you guys coming on, and thank you. And DM me if you want. If you know, I can discuss this more in depth. You know, in a Q&A setting or one-on-one setting. But I'm telling you what we need to do. I'm telling you how we need to do it, and I'm telling you when it should be done. All right. Sorry about the music, man. Like I said, man, they were sending me to Facebook jail, cutting off all my videos, the whole bit. So I hope this one lasts and stayed on for a while. But again, as always, man, you guys go out, enjoy your day, and remain peaceful. Peace.